How's it going, guys? So I wanted to film this video because, as you may all know, I'm pursuing entrepreneurship. I'm in this entrepreneurial journey that leads me to face a lot of things that I never expected to face, right? The entrepreneurial journey, especially in the online business space, is a journey that is very unexpected and that will test you in so many ways, especially mentally. It takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of faith for an individual to have such big dreams towards something that is seen as crazy within this, I guess, world where people usually settle for a general standard or a normal life, right? And being one of those individuals who has always had that dream of living a greater life, who has always had that dream of being able to live a life and to be able to have a future where I am genuinely the best version of myself, where I'm financially free, where I'm financially abundant, where I never have to worry about money ever again. These are all things that are considered as very off the limit to the average person, right? Because it's not normal for the average individual to have this dream and to have this belief that it's possible to become a millionaire in your 20s, right? And obviously I'm 16 years old. I'm not a millionaire yet. But I've always had this dream. I've always had this deep faith into this. And because of that, honestly, it's the only thing that's kept me going. It is the only thing that has kept me going through all of the hardship that entrepreneurship will throw at you. It's the only thing that has allowed me to conquer and overcome every single failure that I've faced as a young entrepreneur, right? Especially when it comes to startup entrepreneurs. It is the hardest first steps to ever take. I heard this one quote from this one successful entrepreneur who said that the road from 0 to 6 figures, or I guess now in terms of monthly recurring revenue, the road from 0 to 10K a month is much harder than the road from 10K to 100K a month, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because when you go from 0 to 10K a month, you are essentially starting with nothing, right? But when you scale from 10K to 100K a month, you have money to buy leverage. You have teams that you can hire. You have all this experience. And obviously you have the funds to hire people who have even more experience within certain fields that will be able to scale your business, right? But when you go from 0 to 10K a month, it is just pure delusion and faith. It is just pure trial and error over and over again, and having to learn from all of this, right? And obviously going through that as a startup entrepreneur, and going through that with absolutely nothing to your name is very difficult, right? And I'm not going to lie to my audience at all. You know, I'm not anywhere near successful where I want to be at all. In fact, I would consider myself just starting out with the fact that I've, gotten 2 years of experience already within business. I'm still just starting out. But even within those 2 years, I have changed so much as an individual. And the only reason why I've managed to change so much is because of all the failures. It's because of all the challenges, and it's because of all of this experience that I had to face as an entrepreneur. And I'm aware that obviously it's nowhere near the other stages within this journey that I'm gonna have to overcome even more, right? Because the entire career of an entrepreneur is essentially just to solve problems. Well, obviously not just to solve problems, but that is the main factor, especially as a CEO, right? It's to solve problems, and it's to have the mindset of somebody who can critically think in every single situation. It's all about having that mind, right? As an entrepreneur, your biggest asset is your mind, okay? Obviously, you can have your skill sets, which is great, but your skill sets can only really apply so much, right? It's very important for you to have a skill set, obviously, if you want to start a personal brand. It's very important for you to have a skill set to obviously start a business. But the one thing that, even before the 10K a month, the one thing that will get you from growing from absolutely nobody with no purpose to somebody who has a dream and who has a future to create for themselves is their mind, right? And deep within that mind that you would have as that kind of individual, because obviously everybody has a brain, everybody has a mind, right? At least most people. No, I'm joking. But obviously everybody has a mind. The difference between people who have a mind and have different ideas and that try to do something and that fail at it, in comparison to somebody who has this burning desire to make it work no matter what, is this very, very simple concept called delusion, right? And delusion is something that I've always personally experienced. You know, I'm 16 years old. I've had this dream of becoming a millionaire and pursuing an entrepreneurial journey since the age of 14 years old. I've been in business for 2 years, right? And I started very small. I started very, very small. And throughout my entrepreneurial journey, I've tried and failed probably 4 businesses from 14 to 16, or maybe even a little bit before 14. That's essentially what my situation was about, was just trial and error with no results for 2 years whatsoever, you know? And now obviously I'm not a millionaire, but I somewhat have a trajectory of what my entrepreneurial journey is going to look like, and I'm going to explain that to you guys. And throughout these first 2 years, it was very, very difficult. And even now, you know, I'm not going to lie to you guys and tell you guys it's super simple, I'm super successful, because I'm not, okay? I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'm very, 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 very aware of that. And I don't think I'll ever be satisfied. But I'm way ahead from where I was before. And I'm way ahead from who I was 2 years ago. And that is all that matters. But obviously throughout these 2 years, I've gone through all these different experiences of obviously failing 4 businesses as a young girl, having to completely eliminate my fears so that I could cold call for other companies and get experience, having to literally erase my emotions so that I could start my trading career when I first started out. These are all things that I had to force myself to do as a young girl. For what? For this dream, okay? And for this visual and for this vision of what I want my future to be like, and what I know I want my future to be like, and what I know my future will be now. Because, you know, the more you work towards this journey, the more you become delusional. Now I'm so convinced that I will become a millionaire in my 20s. Like, no doubt whatsoever, because if I don't, that is purely my fault. And that is my fault for not working. But I work every single day. And because of that, I have the delusion that I'm going to make it. Because not only have I proved it to myself through the work, but it's because I feel it deep in my heart. And that feeling is what you call delusion. And that feeling is what keeps you going through all the trial and error. So going back a bit, throughout these first 2 years, and obviously even counting this part, right, where I'm still in the beginning phase, I still have that same feeling. So just count that all together. Throughout everything that I have to overcome as an entrepreneur, the only thing that keeps me going is delusion, right? And regardless of every single tiny thing that you have to go through as an entrepreneur, for example, with me, it was having to do free work with the delusion of thinking, you know what? I'm doing free work for however many months so that I can get experience, so that it's gonna build me up into the person who's able to become a millionaire in my 20s, right? And I went through the delusion of failing 4 businesses and still having the belief and still having the faith that I was gonna become a millionaire no matter what. And guys, I'm saying this right now, right? I'm 16 years old. I'm working from my tiny bedroom. This was a storage room that I decorated, right? And I sleep here now because it's just a tiny little cozy space, but I work here, right? That is so off topic, but whatever, just ignore that. But guys, like, I'm 16 and I'm so convinced that I'm gonna become a millionaire in my 20s, and that soon enough I'm gonna reach a very, very, I guess, unrealistic target. But it's realistic to me because of the fact that I have this feeling inside me that tells me that it is. And I have these visions in my mind that show the other side of these possibilities. Because the possibilities of things like these happening are low because of the fact that most people don't make it happen. That's why it's low, right? But to those who make it happen, it's because they have this persistent force of energy that just keeps them going. And it's just having this internal feeling that never ever goes away. And every single startup entrepreneur has that. Every single entrepreneur who truly has this dream will have that feeling that they're so convinced about. And that's what you call delusion. But delusion is not a bad thing, okay? It may seem crazy, and delusion is simply your potential and the greatness that lies within you, right? I'm telling you guys, like, sometimes most of the time, I have lots of dinners with my dad, especially, I just came back from dinner with him like 5 minutes ago. Well, not 5 minutes ago, I've been filming for 20 minutes, but for like 30 minutes ago. And the way I was talking to him, guys, I sounded insane. I don't think you guys understand how delusional I look. Staring in my dad's eyes and telling him, Dad, I will become a millionaire. Dad, I will get you your dream car. Dad, I will get Mom a beautiful home. I will get her a beautiful mansion in wherever she wants to live. Dad, I promise you I will make this happen, even if I have barely anything to my name right now. Do you know how delusional I feel saying that at 16 years old with almost nothing to my name? And just that's the kind of delusion that you need. It's the kind of belief system that you need, because it is the only thing that's going to keep you going in those hard times where you face failure, in those hard times where you have to overcome certain things with yourself, where you have to solve certain problems in your business that may seem impossible to solve. The only thing that's going to keep you going is that delusion and that feeling inside of you that's going to, push you forward no matter what. And it's not something that's always too good, right? And obviously I had mentioned that it's not a bad thing, but it's also something that's not too good, because it comes with a lot of, I don't want to call them curses, but it comes with a lot of things that you have to embrace as well. Such as the fact that maybe some of your parents will not support you. My dad is very supportive of my dreams, and that's why I feel comfortable telling him all these things. But my mom, on the other hand, not that she's not supportive of my dreams, but she's skeptical about it. And it's having these things in your life where it will have an impact with every single thing around you, right? It will have an impact. This delusion that you have and this dream that you have will have an impact on everything around you, right? Your family, it will have an impact on your friends, it will have an impact on every single thing that you do, because you don't want to do anything but pursue this dream, right? And it's crazy because you are putting all this time and work into something that you can't even physically see. And you're putting all of this time and energy and effort into a dream that you have in your mind, and into this belief that you see your future, and that you see yourself buying your parents a beautiful home, that you see yourself being financially free, that you see yourself being that CEO. But yet you're in this reality where you're not able to manifest it. You're in this little box in the beginning that is stopping you. But yet the thing that will break you through that is this absolute delusion, and believing that there's more out there, and believing that you can actually get there. And especially being in that little box, in that environment where people normalize a certain standard that's not too impressive, it's going to really knock at you, and it's really going to be, I guess, imposed on you. And as we all know, as an individual and as a human being, you absorb things externally, and you absorb things from other people. You know, if you do not find that feeling within yourself, if you do not find that delusion within yourself, if you do not find that purpose within yourself, you will become what other people make you become. And that's another thing about entrepreneurship, is that you will have to go through all of this delusion, and you will have to go through this entire journey, but with the end result of never having to listen to anybody, right? And I don't care what anybody says. If you go to a job, you're becoming what somebody else wants you to become, instead of becoming what you want to become. And if you want to become who you want to become, it takes a lot of delusion to do so. And it takes a lot of self-belief to do so. Because it's all from the inside. You have nothing around you to prove it. You have nothing around you that proves that you're going to be a millionaire, or that you're going to be successful like you say you are. The only thing that can really back it up is that feeling inside of you that comes back at you every single day. And it will only be able to actually manifest after all of these years of hard work, where you prove to yourself and where you prove to God that you're worthy of it. And then eventually your hard work pays off. But it takes years to do that. It takes years of no results whatsoever to do that. And, you know, guys, like, obviously, like I keep saying, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But I went through 2 years of pure trial and error with no mentor whatsoever. Just pure trial and error. But now I've managed to somewhat build a super powerful asset known as my personal brand, which has brought me more opportunities in 1 week than I've seen in the past 2 years. But the only way that I managed to get to this tiny point in my journey is because I had this feeling inside of me, and I had this delusion inside of me to keep going, even after those 4 failed businesses. And that delusion is the thing that's going to force you to never give up, that's going to force you to keep going no matter what, and that's going to force you to become the person through all of these challenges and through all these experiences that will form you. The only thing that will keep you going is that delusion, right? And sometimes you can't even hide it. Sometimes you can't even hide it. Like, you know, like kind of how like I tell my dad, for some people it's just so powerful inside of them. It's their entire purpose, it's their entire personality. And I guess that's sort of what happened to me. Like, this dream has become my entire personality because it's who I know I truly am. And me saying this as a 16-year-old girl with barely nothing to my name, with just a computer on a small desk, telling this camera that I'm going to become a millionaire is out of pure delusion, and it's out of pure faith, right? Because I've had these feelings internally and knowing that it's going to happen. And this feeling is only going to occur to those who are truly destined for it. You know, it's only going to be there for those who are truly, 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 truly meant for that future. And even to go as far as to be the only hope in your bloodline. If you had a family where nobody was successful, where everybody was struggling, and you have that feeling, you are probably the last hope. It goes as far as that. That's the kind of delusion that you need. It needs to go as far as to you thinking you're the last hope in your bloodline, right? And there are a lot of curses that come with that, because you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of things to pursue this thing and to pursue this dream that you can't even see. But on the other side of it, there are so many rewards. And I'm not saying this because I'm delusional, like I admit I am, but I'm saying this because there's people out there who have done it. And I've spent 2 years studying these people. I've spent 2 years trying to connect as much as possible and to provide free work for these people so that I can get somewhat in that environment, into knowing that it's possible and that it's not just delusion, right? When you're in this tiny little box in the beginning, and you have this light bulb, right? You're the light bulb in this darkness. It's going to be seen as abnormal, as delusional, as not to the norm, as just unachievable. But once you break out of that box, once you hit a certain point, which I guess most people would say is 10K a month, once you hit that certain point, above that, it's not even delusion anymore. Because the people up there understand, because they've been through it. Okay? And if you are not there yet, you're gonna have to go through the first few years by yourself, but that's gonna shape you into the person who's able to break out of it. And I'm aware that I'm still in that phase. You know, even if I've grown my personal brand to a somewhat like kind of brand, I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. But I have this belief in my mind that's keeping me going no matter what. And that's really all you need as an entrepreneur. And, you know, it's just crazy to me that it goes as far as to actually seeing this future in your head. It's not just having this belief of, oh, like, I hope I can make it, you know, I have this dream, I hope I'll get there. It's having this ultimate urge inside of you, in knowing, no matter what, that you will make it happen. And you're gonna have to manifest it with a ton of hard work, and you're gonna have to keep going no matter what, even if you see no results, because that's when you prove to yourself and to God that you're actually worthy of having it, and that is when you will get it. And it took me so long to understand this, guys. It took me so long to understand this. And I promise you, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, I would be talking the exact same way that I'm talking right now, with pure delusion coming out of my mouth, with pure faith coming out of my mouth, because it all starts within here. And I'm expressing exactly what I'm feeling within here, even if my external surroundings do not prove what I'm saying. But later on, I will be saying the exact same thing that I'm saying right here. And it's all because of this thing in your mind. It's all because of this feeling and this destiny in your mind, okay? And the external things around you, they will manifest slowly with time and consistency, with all of the work, okay? But that is God's work to do. If you have that dream in your mind, if you have that feeling in your mind, you already have it all. It isn't just for you to now put in the work and to let the surroundings build up. But it all starts from here. Every single thing starts from this one feeling in your mind. And I guess what we like to call delusion. Okay? So don't be afraid to express these things. I know I'm not. I'll be posting this on my YouTube channel where so many people will be able to see it. And I'm not saying that so many people will see it, but so many people will have access to it. And I'm not afraid for them to see it, because I know that it's true and I know that it's there. And even me saying these things to my dad, it sounds delusional, but I know for a fact that in 3 years I'll be telling him I have the same mindset. I've always had it in me. I've always had that feeling in me. And it's just not gonna go anywhere. As an entrepreneur, you're built different. You're built different with that kind of mindset. And it's just, if you manage to commit to it, if you genuinely find the deeper meaning behind this dream, you'll get it. You'll commit to it and you'll get it. Okay? And I'm saying this purely out from my heart. Like, genuinely. I'm saying this purely out from my heart because I've seen what I had to see. And knowing that I have that potential. I've heard what I had to hear from God. I've seen what God has shown me of what my potential is, of what my future is going to look like if I genuinely put in the work. And you just gotta have that burning desire to make it happen no matter what. And you just gotta have that burning desire and knowing that that's gonna be your future if you continue to work no matter what. Even if you see no results for 2 years. Even if you feel so discouraged. It's what you need. But yeah, guys, that's it. It's just, I had to speak it out, you know, because I know that I have that feeling inside of me. And I know that 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, I'll be looking back at this exact video and I will remember the feeling. I'll remember the exact feeling that I'm feeling right now. And knowing that it was in me the entire time. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. And, you know, I'll be making a lot more of these because it's for me to look back on. It's for my audience to look back on. It's for my loved ones to look back on. Just especially in documenting the process of growing as an entrepreneur and showing the true process behind it. Not just showing the parts where, you know, I sign a client, where I grow my personal brand to a certain figure, where I, you know, build a team or whatever. It's actually showing the process of how you develop as an individual. And that's the most important part of it, is who you become. And it's how you develop your mind into the mind of an entrepreneur who's able to handle $1 million deals, who's able to handle $1 million empires. It's how you develop your mind into that. That's really what I'm trying to document here. So stick with me if you want to. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I'll be posting a lot more videos like this because I'm delusional and it's awesome. See you guys in the next one.